Hey, what is up everyone? We got a big brand new update in Sea of Thieves today for the Festival of Giving event coming up soon, and with it came with a bunch of balancing improvements for PvP and other stuff in the game, as well as new cosmetics, and a whole bunch of stuff added for the Festival of Giving event coming up soon. So let's go ahead and get into it. Starting off with gameplay improvements, first we have blunderbomb impact balancing. So blunderbombs fired from a cannon now have reduced area of effect when exploding, so players caught in the blast will no longer be propelled super far into the air. That one's probably a good thing that they did. Apparently a lot of people were spamming it during the PvP battles, so I guess this is a good one. I never really had this issue on my end, but I don't know. I typically use blunderbombs by throwing them rather than in the cannon. Along with that, blunderbombs fired from a cannon that hit a ship's hull will now deal reduced damage to players caught in the blast inside the ship. This next one I think is a little controversial, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with it. So this is reduced blunderbomb availability. So blunderbombs are now discovered slightly less frequently in island barrels, and fewer are collected at once. Captains restocking at the shipwright will now find that there's less throwable supply than there was before, and the number of throwables found in different tall tales has been reduced. So this is following after the last big update when the season launched, where they decreased the amount of cursed cannonballs that were in the game. I've noticed that they're trying to go back more to like the basics of the game, where you didn't really have like chain shots and blunderbombs and firebombs and cursed cannonballs. I think they're really just trying to get to like just cannonballs and just using that basically. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that because I think blunderbombs and firebombs and the cursed cannonballs really help make the game feel unique, and it just makes the gameplay situations a lot more interesting because it's not the same every time. But I can see a point of having it being a little bit reduced. So we'll see how it goes with this change. I'm hoping maybe if it's too much of a change, they'll revert it back, but we'll see. So moving on, if you actually watched one of my videos a few weeks ago where I talked about like top 5 like wish list for PvP in Sea of Thieves, one of them was talking about ship supplies and receiving them after you win a battle. So they've actually added that this update. So now when a rival ship sinks, the resources held inside the barrels will now float up to the surface, and the barrels can be collected using like the harpoon, like how you collect normal barrels, and then you can basically take all the supplies they had on their ship and put it onto yours. This is great. This is exactly what I was asking for, and I'm really excited to see how this feature works out. They've also increased the amount of ship supplies everyone starts off with. So when you load into a new game, the sloop will now have 80 cannonballs, and the brigantine and galleon will have 90 cannonballs. In terms of wood planks, the sloop and brigantine will now have 35 planks to start off with, and the galleon will have 40. And now the ships will have better food supplies, so along with the bananas that we're all used to, all ships will now have 16 coconuts in addition to that. So that's a really nice update. I'm surprised that like you'd feel like the cannonballs and the wood planks should be standard across all the ships, and then the food would make sense to have more for the bigger ships, but they kind of did the reverse of that. Not sure why, but I don't know, we'll see what happens. So another one that's really great for supplying up and stuff is that if you lose a battle during the PvP battles, you'll actually spawn at an outpost now instead of at a random island like you used to. So now you can basically resupply up, put an emissary flag up if you want, and then go straight into battle, rather than before where you spawn on a random island, had to sail all the way to an outpost, then get supplied up, and then go and do your battle. Just kind of speeding up that process, and I'm very appreciative of that. Speaking of emissary flags, you now can have emissary flags on your ship when you're going into battle. So now instead of losing your emissary flag when your ship like dived underwater to go fight, now you'll be able to keep those on your ship. So you can kind of go back-to-back battles rather than having to return to an outpost after every single round. So that's a really nice change as well. I'll be honest, I don't know if I'll do it unless it's like a grade 1 flag. I probably will always go sell because I'm a little just nervous about that kind of stuff and a little bit paranoid that I'll lose the flag. But that's really up to y'all how you want to play. So now they're reducing more stuff in the game with the number of floating barrels that appear in a group having been reduced. So there's going to be less barrels that you find. But they say the likelihood of finding rare items in these has now been increased. So I'm hoping that means you'll find more cooked food, maybe some better fruit, maybe some treasure, that kind of stuff. I'm hoping that maybe this will make it that the floating barrels are more valuable and you'll want to stop every time you get them. Alright, so now moving on to the Pirate Emporium, we have a new ship set and some other new cosmetics to talk about. So we got the Soaring Oracle ship collection. This is very cool looking. It's all like owl themed and stuff. Really like it, as well as a new costume that goes with it, new weapons, banjo, and all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty cool to see. I think this ship set and the whole rest of the set looks pretty nice together. I also really like the emote that you get with the costume. Moving on, we have the Boreal Aurora ship collection that was seen in the Season 5 Plunder Pass. Now is in the Pirate Emporium, so you can get that if you want. As well as the Gold Curse Inu has been added, and a new Rare Goods Trinket Bundle has been added. So if you remember when the season launched, we got 3 new trinkets in the Pirate Emporium that were reminiscent of old rare games. Now we got 3 more added to the game. We got some new emotes in terms of the Nautical Dance Emote Bundle, so that's a pretty cool bundle, as well as this month's free emote, which is the Tree Decorator emote, where you take a star out and you look like you're placing it on a tree. We also have some time-limited cosmetics come into the Pirate Emporium, so you might want to check these out if you are interested in it, because they won't be here for too long. So we have the Bone Chiller costume coming back, one of my favorite costumes, and this one's a really cool one. It's got a really cool built-in emote with it, as well as the Festival of Giving collection is coming back, so all the Festival of Giving weapons and pet outfits will be back for a limited time. Finally, in terms of the Pirate Emporium, there's going to be a holiday sale from December 23rd to January 3rd for stuff like pets, ship sets, weapons, emotes, and all other stuff in the Pirate Emporium. So check that out. Maybe save your ancient coins instead of spending them today when the update comes out. Maybe hold off and wait till that sale comes out to see if there's anything good that you want to get. Alright, so probably the most exciting part of this update, other than the ship supplies, is the new Festival of Giving event stuff that's coming out. So first we had the Grand Festival of Giving Switch On, which is going to be kind of cool. It's kind of more like a live event in the game, as well as you can watch the Sea of Thieves stream. I may be streaming it depending on what time it is, we'll see. But basically, if you want to see this live in game, go to New Golden Sands Outpost, to the tavern there, and then at 6:15 p.m. UTC time on December 16th, you'll see all the lights come on there. So that's really cool. Along with that, you'll also be able to get a free Merchants Alliance firework crate at any of the outposts, so go check out the Merchants Alliance to grab that. We'll also have Gifts and Glory Weekend from December 23rd to December 26th, so you'll be able to get boosted gold, reputation, and renown. This is a really good time to go do the PvP battles as well, because there will be boosted allegiance during this event. During this event, everyone will also be getting a free Gilded Treasure Voyage added to their inventories, as well as if you're a Pirate Legend, you'll get the Gilded Legendary Voyage as well. But if you already had these from last year's event, make sure you use them before this because it will replace it. Then following that, we have another event afterwards from December 30th to January 2nd, and this is Grogmany. So basically it's going to be all like kind of drinking challenges and that kind of stuff, and you'll be able to get the Grogmany flag, as well as add a notch to your Grogmany annual tankard last year, or if you haven't gotten it yet, you'll be able to unlock it by doing these challenges. You also can complete 2 challenges to unlock the Bildrak Celebration Firework Crate and grab it from the Merchant Alliance for free after you complete those challenges. So, pretty interesting stuff for Grogmany coming up. Finally, we have Twitch drops that are coming up soon from December 19th to January 2nd, and you'll be able to get the Frozen Horizon clothing items. Moving on to Outpost Cosmetics, we only have one set to talk about in this update, and that's the Frostbite set. So we got new equipment, weapons, and ship set that were added. All the remaining parts that weren't already in the game are now added there, and they're locked behind the Humble Giving and Generous Giving combinations. So this next update is pretty funny. We have Pendragon's Sacrifice. So basically that picture frame that Pendragon's trapped in is now hung in Reaper's hideout, so that all the loyal fans of Flameheart can revel in their victory. So that's pretty funny. Definitely go check that out if you haven't already. Then finally, our last update is season notifications are getting a little change. So if you do something that would give you multiple different like seasonal notifications at the same time, you're going to see fewer notifications rather than have them all pop up at the same time. But that covers everything you need to know about this new update. I think we got a lot of great stuff in this update, and I'm really excited to try some of this stuff out. I'm looking forward to the Festival of Giving event. It's usually always a fun time that they do this, so that should be a lot of fun. But that's all I have for this video. If you enjoyed, it'd be great if you hit the like and subscribe. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Bye y'all.